going to make sure you guys can hear me. Now, we're expecting a full class. We've actually had to turn people away because they didn't register for this class. So, as people start coming in, it's a participation class. You guys say things very loudly so that the people who walk in late will actually be trained without me having to start over or explain what you guys have already heard. Okay? I do let you guys out row by row because just the way you stood in line is the way you're going to stand in another line to get your stuff to leave. Everybody here gets a bag. Everybody here gets a bag. Okay? When you get that bag, we're going to ask you for your receipts. They're also going to have you sign a piece of paper. So one thing I want to make sure is everyone has their phone on vibrate. Yes? Great. Please put it on vibrate. What you didn't hear is that I have a horrible ADD problem, and if your phone rings, I forget where I'm at, and I start over. Secondly, how many of you guys have Apple phones? Raise your hand. How many of you have Android? How many of you have all other? This is a rude question. I've had people attack me and go, what about this? You know what that is? Like back up? Smack me in the face. All right, so let's get started. Welcome. My name is Ida. I'm going to be your trainer. I do this maybe 1 week a month. The rest of the time, I'm just like you guys. I sell real estate in Venice Beach, California. A lot of people go, why do you do this? I used to do this to get away from my ex-husband. When he left, I found out I didn't like the kids, so I kept doing it. And now I do it because the kids are gone and I'm bored. Okay. So, we have a pair of sunglasses. If you're missing a pair of sunglasses and you tell me what this says, I will give it to you. Or maybe eyeglass cover. Check. Make sure you guys have your stuff. All right. We broke the class up into 3 sections, folks. 3 sections. Here's the first one. We're going to talk about the equipment. We do spend a lot of time on the SMART app, not because it's hard, but because we want to give you a good overview of the products so that you guys know what you have. Yes?
The noise back there doesn't allow us to hear.
John? John? Sorry. Okay, so we're going to talk about the SMART app. The SMART app, we spend a lot of time on it only because we're excited about it. Things have changed on it. With your new boxes, you're going to be able to take advantage of it, and we want to show you how. The app is actually going to let you do more work from the street than having to go back and look at the computer and do things off the computer to work with the box. So we're going to show you how that works. We're also going to talk about using the card. Each of you are getting a new card today. Each of you are getting a new card. The old card does not work, but I'm making you really happy. You get to keep your 4-digit PIN. Yeah, right? That's the most important part. Do I have to learn something new? The card versus the app, we're going to tell you guys about that. When you guys see this screen come up that says best practice, I want you to get real excited because it's about 3 more screens and I let you out. Okay? So that's the best part of the class. Let's go ahead and I'm actually going to take you straight into the Lockbox. Let's give you a tour of the new Lockbox. It has a little bit of a facelift. The shackle still works the same. Okay? It completely comes out. If you take a look at the shackle, make sure you test it before you actually pick up the box by the shackle, so hold it by the bottom. Now what they did do add onto this box, do you guys see right here? They added the serial number. We had a lot of complaints that people said they couldn't get their head between the door and the lockbox to read the serial number. So they put it on top. Okay? They put it in a large font so you guys can read it without the cheater readers. Yeah, right? But here's the irony. With the new app and the boxes, you hardly will ever use that serial number. Okay? Right here in the center, there are the 6 indicator lights, just like you're used to. Those 6 indicator lights work exactly what you're used to, the yellow, the green, and the red. Now here at the bottom, they've actually added something. It's important you know, they added 2 special keys. Now when I first got this box, they said I day test out the box. So I went up to the box when I got it in the mail, and I pushed on it. Nothing happened. I said, those dummies, they sent me a broken box. So it took me 2 weeks in a conference call to hear somebody say, you did press enter. It lights up. The box goes to sleep. So if you do not press enter, that means the box will not work with you. This is how it begins to communicate. The little blue light flashes, it looks through your phone, starts to send out a message saying, hey, I'm here. So this means that you have to be in range of the what to work with it. Yeah, that's right. So you have to press what to get the box on? That's right. Make sure you press enter before you start working with it because it will not do anything. There's also a little blue light that came on. This little blue light means Bluetooth. I understand that you guys have pretty good cell coverage out here, but I'm still going to have you guys practice this because I want to make sure that you guys understand this. I'm not going to make you say it 3 times, I'm only going to make you say it twice. I do not need cell coverage for Bluetooth. That's right. One more time. As I said this, I had a woman in the front seat screaming at me saying, I don't have Bluetooth. I looked over and she had the biggest new iPhone ever. And then I looked again and I saw a blue light flashing in her ear. And I said, what is that in your ear? She goes, my headset. That headset works with the phone with Bluetooth. She gets out and screams, 350 people. I have Bluetooth. Why do I tell you this story? Because it's important that you know how to turn it on and off. A lot of people will have somebody look at their phone and go, oh, I can see what the problem is. Your phone is being killed by everything open. And they start shutting things down. They turn off your Bluetooth. Make sure your Bluetooth is on. If you don't know how to do it, ask me as you're leaving, because as I'm letting you out, you'll see me. Ask me how to swipe it on and off, and I'll show you how to do it, okay? So your Bluetooth will start flashing right here. There's another thing, too. There's a battery plug. So if these batteries go dead, which, by the way, the new battery takes 6 to 8 years. 6 to 8 years. If it does go dead, there is a battery plug on the side, right here, that they will have you unplug and put in a little conductor in there with batteries. It juices up the box so that you can actually open it up and then change the batteries. Okay? All right, with that said, let's continue. Once again, you're going to get a sheet. You're going to get a new card. Your old cards don't work. The new cards work even with the old boxes. So if you're going out and somebody still has an old box, you can use your new key or the app to get a code to get it, all right? All right, here's the important part. Let's talk about it. We're going to go into the app. We find that 98% of you will use the app because it is convenient. So let's take a look here. These are 4 new icons that you need to make sure you know. 1, the key. The key is where you open up the lockbox from. This is a key compartment. 2, message center. At one point or another in a few months, it's only going to send you messages through the app and not through everything else, because some people were complaining there's too many places where that we get messages from you guys all day long, so they're going to narrow it down to one place. Okay? Now, if you take a look, this is the lockbox. This is where you can customize the lockbox. This is where you manage the lockbox. You must assign your lockbox in order to manage it. Did you guys hear that? Sometimes we have that failure to launch, and the function 2 became a little cumbersome for you guys. So we're going to talk about how to assign that lockbox. This is where you can change all of your settings. So if you want to change your 4-digit PIN that you don't like that you currently have, you don't have to run to the computer anymore. You can do it from the app. Okay? Now let's take a look at this one right here. This says, folks, if you want to take a seat, it's going to be a long time. Everybody raise your hand if you have a seat available next to you, please. That would be great. Folks, you may want to take a seat. It's going to be a while. I'm giving you an opportunity to find a seat if you'd like. All right. So let's take a look. I'm going to read this. It says mobile access. Access lockboxes with your smartphone. Everybody read this word out loud. Tablet. Okay. So you guys need to know that you actually have a limited of installations. This is how it works. If you install it onto your phone, this counts as one installation. I have my friends who said, Day, be like the $1 million listing guys on TV. Go show property with a tablet. So I thought, all right. I loaded on my tablet. It no longer works on my phone. You're only allowed to have 1 key and 1 active key at any time. You may not have more than 1 key at any given time. So a week after me walking around with the tablet, I felt fat, and I went back to the cell phone. How many times have I installed it? Anybody? 3 times. Now the board can actually tell that you have activity going. Now why do I tell this? It's not because the board doesn't trust you, but because your sellers are going to ask you these questions about the security on that app. You're going to have to explain it. Now when the board called me up, they said, we noticed that you installed the program quite a bit of times. Yeah, I did. You see, my friends told me I needed to act professional, so I got a tablet. I didn't like the tablet, so I went back to the phone. But we noticed that the tablet did not have your name on it. Did you guys hear that? It is not a registered device with me. It is not a new device that I registered to myself and they can see that. So when the seller says, how secure is this? Well, Mr. Seller, you have to be a board member. You have to be in good standing. And it checks every night that my credentials are updated. So every day at midnight, your phone, if it's on and it's got cell coverage, it's going to update your phone automatically for you. Okay? Now, Mr. Seller, if something goes wrong, I can see who has been into your house and what device was used. So if something goes completely wrong, we'll be able to tell. Your sellers are going to ask you that question, so you're going to have to answer that. That's how you'll know, okay? Because 98% of you are going to be using the app. 98% of you will give instant messages to the seller, letting them know that you guys have been there, okay? All right, so let's continue. Now, Shirley has volunteered as tribute. Anybody see Hunger Games? She is going to fight the battle for you. I have given her the gadget here that she's going to use during the demonstration. Now, the reason why she's going to use this gadget, because they didn't trust my phone, they thought I'd get messages up on the screen. So we're going to use this little gadget here. Anybody want to guess what this is? What was that? It's not an iPhone. It's an iPod. What does a cell phone have that an iPod doesn't? Cell service. It has no cell service. So what are we going to use today? Bluetooth, right? Because I don't need cell coverage for Bluetooth. So I'm going to have you hold that. Give me a second. And here's what I didn't tell you, is that we can all see what you do. All right? So what she is now looking at is the home page for the iPod that looks just like an iPhone, correct? I'm going to have her swipe it one time. Remember the guy with the flip phone? He took the phone and swiped it in front of me like this. So she's going to swipe the screen one time. And did it go? No, that way, towards that way, the wall. There you go. All right, we're going to find the icon. You guys see the icon right here? She's going to tap on it one time. One time she opens it. Now here's the important thing that you need to know. It will not ask for your username and password every time, unless you completely log out of the program. Did you guys hear that? The nice thing is that we don't have to sit there and remember those codes that often. Sir? I need you over here. They'll get mad if you go over there. So find a seat right over here. Oh, okay. All right. Just to let you know, I get in trouble when you go over there. All right. So when it pops up, it's going to say, hey, Ida, you're standing right here in El Paso. Let me show you every listing within a half a mile. It actually gets the information from the MLS a couple times a day so that you guys have current information in your app. So it knows when you are standing somewhere, what every house is within a half a mile. You still have to follow the showing instructions. Now, I don't belong to your MLS, so therefore you can't see any of the listings around here. Some of you opened up your app and you looked at it and you saw a lot of yellow circles, right? We're going to explain those circles in just a second. Now, what you're going to pretend right now that I am the most beautiful door you have ever seen. Okay? I have what in front of you, folks? Now, how does Shirley get it to work with her? First, she has to press what to the lockbox? The lockbox. The lockbox. What do you have to do to the lockbox? Yeah, you got to wake it up. I'm not doing it for you. I'm the door. Now, if you take a look up at the screen, what popped up? An address and the lockbox of where she's standing in front of. Once she is there, then she can go ahead and highlight that property by clicking on it. Once she does, it's going to ask her for her 4-digit PIN. You guys are keeping your 4-digit PIN. That PIN that you never, ever, ever, ever give out. 7701. Once she does that, it's already working with the box. It takes a few seconds, and out comes the box. Now she had to be in distance of the box. Did you notice how I had walked up closer just to make sure that I wasn't too far? Okay, so now she can open up the box. It now comes up with a message. Let's give you a history lesson. When this first came out, we were so excited. It said, key compartment open, succeeded, okay? And some of us said, not in our perfect real estate life, sometimes things aren't okay. And the company said, what do you mean? Well, when we walk up to the box and we open it up, something's missing. That's right, so guess what they added? 2 questions, key missing or okay. If if you click OK, that sends a message to the listing agent that you have now started your tour through the house. If you hit key missing, it does two things. One, it tells them that you did not lose the key. And two, coordinate something because I'm standing here. So it sends that message out. We're going to click OK for right now. Now, go ahead and hit Don't Ask Again on here for me. Thank you. All right, so we're going to pop here, and if you take a look, go ahead and click OK. Now, we're standing right here. What I'm going to ask her to do is come back over to the lockbox, because right here, the lockbox tool's down here. Folks, notice that I'm pointing at the bottom of the screen. Apple, your menu is at the bottom. Android, yours is at the top. So go ahead and click on that lockbox. Now, it's going to put her into a mode saying, hey, I'm the listing agent. I can manage my listings. I'm on the golf course, and I just got buzzed saying the key is missing. If I had 20 listings, my listings would all show up right here. But since I only have one, I'm going to highlight that one. Go ahead and click on that one. Once she does, it's going to say, what would you like to do to that box? Well, they just told her the key is missing. Can anybody tell me what she would press here to look to see who last was there? View access log. She's going to go ahead and click on View Access Log. Once she does, it's going to pop up and show her everyone who's shown that property. Now, because she knows that this is an order, it gives her the time. This was first, this was last. So this person right here probably didn't leave the keys. So if this were a real phone, all she has to do is tap on the phone number. Go ahead and tap on the phone number, and it would say call. Oh, you pressed on the email. That's all right. We're going to do this. Yeah, so let me just show you. I did it already for you. It would say call right here. She'd be able to call that agent and say, hey, I have another person at the house. I think you may have put the keys in your purse. It's not in the lockbox. Can you drive over there so that I can call the agent and coordinate something so I can get them in? It's kind of nice, right? So now you know who lost the keys. All right, I'm going to have her hit cancel right here. Now, if you notice, she accidentally, which I'm not going to have her tap, is the email. Also, I have some of those sellers that are really picky who say, hey, how did the showing go? I can click on the email and say, hey, my seller is sitting on the edge of their chair. Can you tell me how the showing went? And send them an email without having to get back to the office, look for the agent's information. Everything is there. So go ahead, and we're going to go back over to the key compartment just to show you. All right. One thing I will show you, she's going to go back into the lockbox thing, because this is why I'm going to show you. Notice that it's still where it's showing us access log. Do you guys see this back button? If you ever get to a place that you don't know where you're at, look at the top, because it's going to tell you go back one screen. So go ahead and click on the back of the screen. Once you do, it's going to show you what else you can do with this box. Now, we showed you how to log in. We showed you how to open up the key compartment. Let's talk about releasing the shackle. Let's talk about releasing the shackle. Now, there are three reasons you take off the shackle. I was going around telling everybody there are two. I'm embarrassed to tell you one of them, but I'm going to tell you anyways. One, it's a closing. I'm getting paid. Boop, boop. Gotta get that box off. Ooh, that's a favorite. Two, this is the one I forgot, believe it or not. You get a new listing. I'm embarrassed every time I say that. You get a new listing. Three, these boxes can be customized. So if I had a picky client who said, you can only open the box from 1 to 4, Monday through Friday. I set up the box to only open up Monday through Friday. The box has been there 3 weeks. And they call me up and say, you got to move the box. We don't like where it sits. It's pounding on the door. How many of you have ever had anybody ask you to move the box? Yeah. Well, in the old boxes, when you had it, as soon as you took the shackle off, it would clear out everything from the box. You with me so far? We said, hey, in a real estate perfect world, that doesn't work. So they fixed it for us. I'm going to show you how. So the first thing she's going to do is she's going to make sure that the box is what? What is she going to press on the box? That's right. Once she does, and by the way, they added a message to the screen. A lot of people would sit there and stand and wait, and they go, it's broken. So now they added a screen that says, tap on the inner key, because we're to do it. So once she does that, it's actually checking. She's already looking at a different screen because the Wi-Fi for the software that we have that reflects takes a little bit longer. She's going to go ahead and hit release shackle. Once she does, it's going to say, well, prove that it's really you, the listing agent, to take off the shackle. She's going to have to give her code, 7701. I'll never give it out. She's going to hit release. Once she knows it's already working with the box, it doesn't go ka-beep, 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 it just comes off. Okay? It works pretty quick, doesn't it? Now look what it says. This is the most amazing thing. Release the shackle succeeded. The lockbox is currently at, would you like to remove it from the property? If I have a closing, do I want to remove it?
Yes.
All right, but if I have that picky client who says, oh, I can't leave it at the front door because that's why it's not selling, what would I press? Cancel. Cancel allows you to move it to any location without losing information. They fixed that problem for us. I'm going to have her remove it, and as she does, I'm going to show you what it appears now. You hit release, or remove, sorry. Once you hit remove, it's completely going to come back, give you a message saying, this lockbox number does not live here anymore. Click OK. Let's show you what it looks like. We're going to go back to the key compartment. Click on the key compartment down at the bottom, way at the bottom of the screen menu. Menu, key helper out, there you go. Once she does that, we're going to show you, oh no, you got to click here at the key at the bottom. Okay, so when I click, the last 2 digits or 3 digits is 794. Do you guys see the 794 up there? It no longer has an address because it's not on that property anymore. Okay, now all of you guys are going to go out and put these new lockboxes on. So let's show you how to assign a new lockbox, because if you don't assign it, you can't manage it. Okay? If you don't assign it, you can't manage it. You had a question. The question is?
There's no way to do this and have them release the shackle.
No. No. No, you want to make sure that your lockbox that you manage, that you have a liability with, that you do it. Okay? So, yeah. Question is, if they're asking you to move it, you want to make sure that you move it correctly because you'll lose all the information. Okay. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to the lockbox tools because I want to assign this lockbox. So the lockbox tools is down at the menu at the bottom. This is everything I can do to it. I'm going to look for assign lockbox. So you're going to find the assign lockbox. Did you press it? Assign to property. That's right here. She's going to click on it. Now, what did I tell you the inventory comes from? Where does it come from? That's right. When you log in, it knows your inventory. It knows who you are and what property you have listed. In fact, they're right here. Shirley, show off your 3rd listing. Scroll up in that little box where the addresses are. There's her 3rd listing. So if you don't see your listing there, just keep scrolling to the one that you're at. It knows your listings. Now, in a perfect world, when you guys leave and you put on your new boxes, it's going to be really easy. Don't do it though. Highlight, choose the date that you want to put it on, because you can backdate it to match your contract. Then you can hit assign, and it would be that easy. But folks, let's tell you, 2 weeks from now, you're going to get a listing. Typically, we take listings at what time? Anybody? Yeah, at night, right? In the evening. People are home from work. So we usually take the lockbox, because if we get the listing, we want to leave the lockbox, correct? All right. If I get a listing 20 minutes outside of town, and I take the papers, I ask if I can leave the box. We told them that the app didn't work with us because my listing does not appear on there. How do I put my listing on there? Well, it will take me a couple of days at least before I get it into the MLS, correct? All right, so they said, let us fix that for you. So let me show you this screen. Here are your current inventory. And then they put this word, or this phrase right here. Can't find property? Question mark? You click on it. Go ahead and click on it. When you do, another screen will pop up and it says pending assignment, pending assignment. So that property that I just took, 20 minutes outside of town, 3460 Maple, it's asking for me to put in just the numeric portion. What part do I put in? 3460. Now for the next 5 days, the system will keep checking the MLS to see if I put in a listing with 3460. When it finds my 3460, it brings back the information and marries it to the box. So you don't have to do anything else. Okay? So now it's assigned. We're going to go ahead and hit cancel here for me. Now what I'd like you to do is just go ahead and choose the one above this. Not Central, but the one here, main. Go ahead and click on main. Go ahead and hit assign to property. And it's going to come back with a quick message. This is how fast it worked. Lockbox, this number is now at this location. Click OK. Let's show them what it looks like. Go back to the key compartment down at the bottom. I'm going to go ahead and press enter, and look how it shows up. It's already assigned to the listing. That's how fast it is. Did you guys notice what color circle is next to it? Green means that you can open it. Red means that it's locked down. You can't get to it. Yellow, Yellow, you need to know what yellow is. Yellow means, yeah, caution, that there is a listing from the MLS. There may be a box that is unassigned, or there is not a box. Does that make more sense? Now, the nice thing is that it has a self-clean mechanism. So let's say I worked really hard in not assigning that property because it just takes 2 seconds. I left the box, took the shackle off, put the key in, and left, right? You come up behind me, Shirley, and I promised you that that box would be there, but you're looking at your app and you say it's yellow. Oh, that I did to do her job. Man, now I have to walk around and see if I can find the box. She finds the box because I promised her it would be there. As soon as she opens the box says, hey, I know where I'm at, and marries it to that listing. Now, make sure your phone's on vibrate. Remember, I got to start over again. He's looking at me like, don't do it. So Shirley, when she married it to the box knows for you guys that there's a box, and you can get to it. I can't manage it. Did you guys hear that? Because I didn't assign it. So I have to assign that box to manage it, even though I own it. Make sure you assign it. So it changes that circle to green right away. Okay? All right. Now, I'm going to go ahead and take that. Everybody give her a round of applause. I don't care what anyone says. As soon as you get up here and you know people are watching you, it's a little weird, isn't it? All right. Now, one question, I'm going to move on. Yes?
Is that update already released?
Yes.
It's not.
You'll have to log out and log completely back in, but it should update. But if you're not, let me check your notifications. That's a good question. Listen to the question. Is this update released? Yes. You may have something blocking it from doing the updates. So you want to make sure you do your updates because it sends you a notification to do the updates. Notification to do the updates. Thank you very much. All right. One quick question. Yes?
In managing the listings, if you're a team, what do you have to do so that...
Are you a team currently?
Yes.
Then don't worry about it. Nothing's changed. In fact, that's a great question. Your name is? Heather asked a great question. She asked something about teams. If managing the box has anything changed with teams. Nothing has changed. The only thing we're doing is giving you more options. That's it. We're not taking anything away. Nothing. Not even your 4-digit PIN. You're going to get, no, the reader works the same with all the others. They're universal. All right, folks, let me take you up here. This is where I do stop. This is where I do become very serious because there are one-day codes. How many of you used a one-day code? How many of you given out a one-day code? Okay, take a look around. Everybody in here. Everyone in here has 4 ways to get into the box without you. You do not need to create a one-day code for another realtor. Do you guys hear that? So liability-wise, you should not be creating one-day codes, period, unless you get permission from the seller. The seller has to give you something in writing to make sure that you are clear of liability when you're giving it out. Because you should not be giving out any one-day codes without permission of the seller. I'm going to explain the only time and show you how it works, and then give you a couple scenarios so that you can manage your one-day codes. I'm going to tell you how to use it, but before you leave, remember, you still have to sit down in an office meeting with your broker, and your broker is going to give you his rules. His rules supersede anything. If he says no one-day code, period, no one-day codes. They can actually monitor if you have or have not given out one-day codes. Do you hear me? So I'm going to go ahead and explain it. Remember the listing I took out 20 minutes outside of town? 2 weeks. My friend Joe and Mary gave me that listing. They have a daughter named Katie. They call me at 6:30 at night and they say, hey, Day, can you go and drive out there and let little Katie in? We're in Vegas having a great time. And she locked herself out. Now because I have a lockbox and the keys in there, I now am the locksmith to that house. Right? So, I'm going to say, oh, well, no, I can't. What she doesn't know is I'm eating dinner. I'm not driving out there. So what I'm going to do is have Katie call me so I can give her a code to get into that box. Little Katie calls me because I want her number to show up on my phone. Okay? So this is why. When I'm in the program, I'm going to bring this up so you guys can see it. I'm going to go to the Lockbox tools. They have just called me. I'm going to click on the one-day code. It says, what day do you want to set it up for? I can set it up 14 days in advance. 14 days in advance. I'm going to go down to the assign. Now, I can't even get to this screen unless I assign the Lockbox. Did you guys hear that? Once I'm here, I'm going to put in as much information as possible. And I'm not wearing my glasses. and then I paste her phone number in to create a legal code of who I gave that one-day code. I'm going to say retrieve one-day code. It's going to ask me for my PIN number, which you guys all know. And once it pops up, it comes up with a beautiful screen. It even tells her how to use the code. Press enter until the keyboard lights up. Then enter the code above, then press enter. Then she's going to take her two little hands and open it up like a pretty seashell. Okay? So what I will do is I will follow up and say, little Katie, I'm going to send you some information. How do teenagers speak nowadays? Anybody? Yeah? Guess what? This screen has a forward button. People with Apple, look, yours is a square with an arrow. Droids, yours is an arrow. If you click on it, it says, how do you want to send it? I'm going to click text message. Once I click text message, I'll paste her phone number in and send it off to little Katie. Isn't that awesome? Now I'm going to follow it up just with a call and say, little Katie, you just got a code. This is the only time I tell people to leave the box open, because typically I tell people open and close it, open and close it. Little Katie, you're going to run to the box that's over by the garage because parents didn't want it on the front door. You're going to take your two hands and you're going to put in the code, open it up, take out the keys, make sure you look, see how the keys are set, leave the box open, run to the front door, giving her urgency. Do you guys hear this? Unlock the front door and quickly run back to the box. Here's the lie. Put the keys back in there and shut it, because if you don't, it will notify me. What's the lie? Yeah, that's why we have key missing. So I want her to have the urgency. I did not have to ask my broker this time. Why? It's the seller asking for their what? Their keys. Okay? Now they moved, they left me a vacant house, so now I'm going from realtor to locksmith to general contractor because they found out that the house needed all this work. It's 20 minutes outside of town, they're my friends. What I didn't tell you is that they asked for a cut and commission. Yay! And now they asked me to manage all these people that are going to their house. I said to the broker, I need your help. What's the rules on the one-day code? He said, get a note from the seller giving you permission to give one-day codes to the vendors that they hire. So the note read, I give permission to ABC Realty, I.D. Jerome, to give out one-day codes to vendors I hire. And there are names, the address, and there you have it. So the first call I get is from Joe the plumber. He says, hey I.D., I understand that you'll be meeting me at the property. I have to be there Monday and Tuesday for a couple hours. I'm going to take up my whole day just managing these people. No, Joe, I'm not going to meet you, but I'm going to send you codes. Now listen up, because this is a great way to manage it. I'm going to send you codes. Monday I'm going to send you 2 codes to get into the box. 1 code you'll use to get in, 1 code you'll use to get out. What I didn't tell you, little Katie, remember the little girl who opened up the box to get her keys and to get into the house? As soon as she opened it, a clock starts to tick. 60 minutes later, that code dies. Did you guys hear that? 60 minutes later, that code dies. Nobody needs to know that, because I need to manage who's going in and I want to know how long they've spent. Okay? So Joe the plumber now has 2 codes to get, 1 to get in and 1 to get. That's right. So I'm going to use this as a time card. So Joe has done his work. It's 2 weeks later. I get a call from the seller. The seller says, I.D., can you audit the box, which we all can, and tell me what time Joe was there? Ah, okay. Because we received a bill for $1,500. Ooh, that was steep. Well, he was there Monday from 10 to 2. Tuesday, he never went in. Well, that's funny. He's charging us for 3 hours for Tuesday. Joe was told to use what? 1 code to get in, 1 code to get out. Tuesday, 1 code to get in, 1 code to get out. So now I can verify. Now I'm going to scare you guys. What if the call didn't go that easy? What if the call was like this? It was Wednesday after Joe was there, and the seller calls me up and says, "I think you gotta help me out." Well, what's wrong? You sound like you're in a panic. Well, you got to tell me what time Joe was there yesterday. Why? What's wrong? Well, the fire department said the back of the house burnt down at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. What does this become? Evidence. So when you're all giving out those one-day codes, folks, think about it. In California, they'll sue you because the TV's gone, they'll sue you because their medicine's gone, they'll sue you all kinds of reasons. And guess what we have to give them? Our phone to show them who went into the house. So be responsible when you do it. Make sure you put in as much information. So, who do you ask first before you use it? No, it's in alphabetical order. Broker. The broker's rules. Then you can tell the seller about it. How long do they live for? 60 minutes. Yeah, that's right. How far in advance can you set them up? 2 weeks, 14 days. How many can I do per box per day? 99. Okay, you're not going to run out. That's not the problem. You just want to be careful handing them out. Now, if it's an agent from outside, which I just really looked on the map, and I saw that New Mexico is really close. Sorry. All right. I was told that sometimes they come in, and you guys are very nice about letting them in. In our area, this is how we do it. Once you call, we hang up with you. We don't take your cell phone number. We actually call your office, verify that you're in good standing, that your license is good by your manager, and get a cell phone number from them to call you back to give you a code to get in. Now, your broker may have his own rules, but just make sure you verify things. And in the notes, put in as much information as possible, like for Joe the plumber, ABC Plumbing, Joe the plumber, his contract number, and his cell phone number. So if I have to give that phone to a judge, here you go. And here's the note that the seller gave me. He hired me. Okay, so make sure you have those things in order. So let's go on to better things. Woo woo! Kind of scary, right? It was so easy to give those out before. Sellers catch on quick too, because they know that you can get information faster, so careful. All right, let's take a look. Lockbox settings. I'm not even going to bore you guys with that, because lockbox settings was where you guys had to see assign to, release code. There's also one more thing. Sometimes you ask somebody to pick up a box at a closing. Pick up a box at a closing, and that is a shackle code, emergency shackle code release. Anybody ever have to have somebody take off your shackle off your box for you? Yes? Okay, let me explain. In some areas, not my area, they're not nice in my area, they'll say, hey, I'm going to drive out to the 20 minutes outside of town and give the buyers their keys. And I'll say, oh, that's awesome. Will you do me a big favor? Pick up the lockbox while you're there. What do I have to give them to get that lockbox off because they're not the listing agent? A shackle code. Now do not, repeat, give them the shackle code on their paper. What did I just say? Do not give them that code on your paper. Did you guys hear that? That code is your permanent code to every box you have. So if you and I got in a fight and I knew that you had 15 boxes and you asked me to move that one box, I'm going to go move all of your boxes so that you can play Easter egg hunt. Okay? So, there is a fix to that, okay? It is called an emergency shackle release. It used to be that you used to have to call the 877 number to get it. They put it into your app, so you could create a one-time code for that shackle code. So if you're in a pinch and somebody needs to help you, you can give them a shackle code. As long as they're an agent, in good standing, and their app works, they can take the shackle off and bring you back the box. When they bring you back the box, you will remove it from the property. Did you guys hear that? Now I'm going to give you another one that you guys will need, which is privacy code. Anybody here ever use privacy code? Yes, isn't it great? Folks, this is the most amazing thing. And maybe you, anybody ever walk in on a seller? No? Yes. I have not been blessed then, because I have. Things you should not see. Anyways, sellers sometimes will say, hey, I gotta run home, I gotta get ready, and your box is on that door. Is that agent, here's a magic word, gonna be on time? Well, I can't win the lottery, so I can't tell you if they're gonna be on time. But what I can tell you, if they don't show up at 3 o'clock like they said, at 3:10, call me. Did you hear that? Call me. I'm gonna give you a privacy mode code. That means I don't have to drive out in 20 minutes. I can give them a code to put on the box, and it locks down the box. Did you hear me? For 90 minutes. So if they forget to take it off, it will come off after 90 minutes no matter what. So it's not going to impede your business, but it will let them have the security of being in their house, showering so people don't walk in on them. Okay? Privacy mode, probably the best thing on the box. Okay? All right. Non-Bluetooth access. We're going to explain this a little carefully because I understand that you guys, again, need to hear this. I think a lot of you guys are trying to use a mobile code access to give people to get in. How far do you have to be from the box if you're going to use it? Yeah, and one guy goes, how far? Well, I don't know, your arm's about 6 inches longer than mine. So, yes, non-Bluetooth access. This means that occasionally you're going to be in front of the box, it's going to say, can't read your Bluetooth. 1, your Bluetooth might be off. 2, your Bluetooth might be broken. So it's going to ask you for the serial number. Where do you guys locate the serial number? That's right, it's up on the top, okay? So once you put in the serial number, it's going to give you your code just like the old-fashioned way so that you can get in. They don't want to lock you out. Now, message center. That's where you're going to get your messages. Go in there, make sure you set it up correctly. I understand that you guys have, we have assistants. Who here has an assistant? In California we call them spouses. I understand that you in El Paso do too. She's all waving him down. If you're going to set up your assistant to get the messages, you cannot do it through the app. It still has to be through the website. So if you haven't done that, you can put their email in and they get all the messages just like you do. All right? User settings. This is where you can change your PIN. This is also where you can set up your agent safety stuff. Agent safety stuff. Okay. One-day codes. I got to quiz you guys. How far in advance can I set them up? Who do I have to ask first? Then, how long do they live for? 90. Oh my, okay, what class are you in? 60 minutes. How many can I do per box per day? Perfect, you guys passed that test. No, it's showing notifications. We ask that we need to know when people left the house. How many times have you had a seller saying, are they gone, are they gone, are they gone? Well, they're getting there. It's not perfect, but it is now going to start working with your boxes. It'll tell you when they began the actual opening of the key compartment. It will then tell you after you're a mile and a half from the property. So if the buyer's agent is now done, has traveled a mile and a half from the box, it's going to tell you they're gone. If they open another box after they've opened your box, it's going to tell you they're done. Or if 90 minutes passes and they didn't do anything, it's going to tell you they're done. So you won't get all three messages, you'll get one or the other. Okay? Now it's important that if you guys come up with a better idea or you think of something great, send them a message because they listen to us. As we start asking for things, they add it in. Remember how key missing wasn't there? We needed to move the box because we just listed it, those things. All right, agent safety. Young lady, your name is? I'm sorry? Elena. Elena is my agent safety partner. I'm going to go in there and I'm going to set up her information. Somebody says, does it have to be an agent? No. As long as you put in the correct information on how to get a hold of her, and hopefully she's not having dinner early, we're going to be okay. So I set her up. Now they know that we asked as realtors, because you guys know that we own these boxes, right? When you see the little R, it's owned by realtors, so we own these boxes. They said, hey, this is the scariest time for agents. When they get a call from a stranger because they found the listing on the internet, they know who you are, and they want you to meet them at a property. It could be dark. So suddenly you find yourself in a position that you're not too comfortable, but I'm pretty sure you're going to be like me. Suddenly I meet these two guys at a gas station who want to see this vacant house, and I think to myself, maybe this isn't such a smart idea, but it's a good commission. I'll turn it on. Okay? What happens is that I'll drive over there, and as soon as I open up this box, the box says, hey, you have agent safety on. When I have agent safety on, you ready? It will send a message to me and say, are you okay? I respond, I'm okay. Don't send an alert. I don't say I'm okay, don't ask again. It'll keep asking me every 15 seconds till I feel really comfortable. Then I can say, don't ask again. Do you guys see that? Once I've done that, it will stop asking. But if I don't respond or send an alert, it's going to send her a message. She's going to get the coordinates of the box. Did you guys hear that? Of the box. Why is it important that you know what the box is? I was in Tupelo, Mississippi. Anybody know where that is? Where Elvis was born. That was my happiest moment of life. Anyways, I had a woman who said to me, Ida, what if I'm on the move? I said, excuse me? She goes, what if I'm moving? Like in the trunk of their car. I said, that's a good question. I don't know how it works. I now know how it works. The box is the only thing that gives the coordinates. So what do you have to hold on to? Yeah, so right before anything happens, just say, let me take this box with me. Yes. Wait a minute, Heather's got a good question. What is it, Heather?
I got agent now that disappeared this Friday night. If you never
There was an agent that disappeared?
Yeah.
Oh, no. I'm all devastated.
If you never make it to the box, you meet them at the gas station and you never make it to the box, just agent safety.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to give you guys two of my things because I've been in real estate for so long. One, I always have a person I contact anyways and just say, it was a fake call. I got to check to see if the kids had dinner. I'm okay. That would be my call. So then I would have the second one when I was there, but I actually, and just so that you guys know, when you're at open houses, landlines. If you dial 911, you're supposed to throw the phone and then run. Because as long as you're not saying anything, you're supposed to send somebody over. Just keep that in mind. I did do that, but I flipped it so hard like a softball player that landed face forward and hung up on it. So make sure you just throw it on the floor. But it does not turn on, but you know what? Suggestions like that would be great, because if you have your locations on, they should be able to pin your phone. Yeah, so.
Just for us to think that we're safe, it's a very good feature to have, but.
That's why I told you the box part. That's why I go into the box part, because I don't want you to think you're safe completely. So, like that girl said, what if I'm on the go? I never even thought about that. I found out it's setting the coordinates of the box, okay? But I think that you could set the alert, it still wouldn't find the box. It's going to probably do something with your phone. All right, quick question, then I'm going to move on. I think it's only got one person on, but that's a really good suggestion to have two, in case she's having dinner. Yeah. Yeah, right? All right, folks, eyes up. I really need your attention on this one. This one's really important. How many of you are carrying your keys that you turned in today? When you get your new key, please put that in your wallet. Don't put it away because you're going to use the app. I want you to carry it in your wallet at all times. It's going to be your backup to your backup to your backup. So if something happens in the middle of the day, which my phone usually does, I get a little red line saying that my phone is going to do what? That's right. I'm showing property, I have 4 down, and I realize that I have to charge my phone. My buyers are eating lunch. I say, swallow that sandwich, get in the car. Once they get in the car, I realize that I forgot my charger. I look over, they have droids, I have an Apple, I cannot charge my phone, it's going to die. So I'm going to pull out my wallet, because the crazy lady in the class told me to carry that card. You're going to flip it to the back. There's an 877 number. Some of you may have used this, but I'm going to give you guys some great information on this. You can call them up and say, hey, I'm out in the field. My phone is dying. They're going to ask you because I use my buyer's phone. They don't recognize it, so I have to give them security questions to get permission. They're going to say, not a problem. You're going to walk up to a box. They're going to tell you to insert the card. They're going to give you a special key, a code, and it activates the card for the rest of the day. Did you guys hear me? So now, I've activated the card, the dumb card, not attached to the internet. It knows it lives till midnight. Midnight. Did you guys hear that? It dies at midnight. Then I can go back to my phone. How many keys can I have at one time? Yep. What always beats the phone? The card key. Okay? So the phone gets superseded by the card. I have 10 listings. Can I manage my 10 listings where my card is active? Yes, you can manage your listings, but you cannot use the card to open up any other box. So you will only have one key at any time. Now here's the kicker. If the phone has to give you credentials every day at midnight, right? Every day at midnight, how many days, how much time do you have? 24 hours. How often do you have to update the card now? It dies at midnight. So if you're going to show property every day with that card, you're going to have to update it every day. By the way, this is how we push you 98% into using the phone because nobody wants to do it. By the way, in the rest of the nation, it works great. Sellers, listing agents want to know when you've entered the house. If you're using the card, there usually is a delay. So if you're upset, the board is who you want to talk to. It's not me who made the rules. So let me go ahead and take you guys into the next one. So the same functions work with the card. It works no different, folks. You're going to get your new card. It works. It does expire at what time? That's right. Everybody knows that it expires at midnight. That way you don't have to guess. Now this is how you open up the key compartment. Nothing's going to change. These were the 3 steps you were supposed to take when you first got a listing. When you had a failure to launch, a lot of people weren't assigning them because the broker was helping them online. But if you want to manage that box, make sure you assign it yourself. If you notice here, the card readers remain the same. Your card readers remain the same. You will find that most people, once again, we go into locations, 98% of you will go to the app because it's so convenient. It's so convenient. All right, lockboxes. I can access them with my smartphone. I can use a SentriCard. If I want to use a SentriCard, I just do what I normally do. Notifications instantly happen via email, text, and notifications to the smartphone. Remember, they're going to try to narrow that down just to the smartphone. Now, this says, it's kind of a lie, by the way. It says, sent after renewing card, receiving emails. Most locations I go in, and they had a delay of people inserting their cards. They say, sometimes it takes like 2 weeks for somebody to tell me that they've been to the property because they didn't renew their card. They were very upset. But with the app, it starts to do a clean audit. Clean audit. So every time somebody opens up the box with the app, it'll tell you everybody who's been in. Okay? So it's going to start doing a clean audit. Customizing. Folks, remember how we talked about that doctor or I told you guys, maybe not the doctor, but I told you I had a client who said I can only show up 1 to 4, Monday through Friday. You can customize these boxes. Reports, that's a view access log. They want to remind you that you can do it from the website still. One-day codes, you can do it from the smartphone, you can do it from the computer. Updates automatically happen with your cell phone. Okay, so if your phone is on your data service, you're going to be able to do that. The card does expire at midnight, so you have to renew it. Now one more time, if I activate my card, can I use my phone as a key? What wins every time? Okay. Let's go ahead and go over best practices. Lockbox is water resistant, not waterproof. Do not attach it to a downspout or a water spigot. Keep it as vertical as possible so that the weather flows right off of them. Okay? Rotate your lockboxes to maximize battery life. This means if you have more than one lockbox, move them around. Anything inserted into the lockbox must fit into the gray bin, which you guys already know. Avoid removing the battery plug unless it's necessary. And remember, that plug is going to be right off the side of the wall right here. Then they're also telling you, just to remind you, because some people don't trust technology, they're like, what if I don't know if I have my credentials updated? 1, you can go into the settings. 2, just close down the program and open it back up. If you're in data connection, it's going to give you a renewal of your credentials for another 24 hours. That's how easy it is. Okay? All right. You guys are going to get your card carrier sheet with your credentials. You're going to get your SentriCard, your new one, pocket reference card, and a start sheet. Now, these are 2 important dates. Let's take a look at them. Somebody said, you mean that the one-day codes are only going to be 60 minutes? Yes, starting September 5th. Did you guys hear that? Starting September 5th. That's what the cutoff is. Now, because you guys aren't leaving with new technology, they don't want to stress you out. So they're going to have you, and this is where the lie comes in, you can use both the phone and the key until the 12th till you get used to it. And then it cuts you off to a single key. Okay? But the only reason they're doing this is because some people feel that they need the key card to take off the shackle, but you guys saw how quick and easy it is with the app. Much easier to get all those things on and off. Okay? All right. Now, if you want more training, you want to sit with your computer, your boxes, and the app, you can go to Century 1. They actually just did new training videos with the app so that you can get it there. Let's take a look at this. This is the important screen. Do you guys see this? Do you guys see the green circle, the yellow circle, the green circle? What does yellow mean? It means caution. There is a listing from the MLS, but it doesn't know if there's a box. The green circle means that it's ready. Do you guys see the phone line up on the top? You can call for support right from there. How are we doing? Rich? How are we doing? John? I got 2 more screens. Oh. What do you want me to do? Get 2 more minutes. All right, folks. They're going to have to do things a little bit different, so listen closely. I'm going to go ahead and move it here. Let me take 3 questions before they start yelling names out. Any questions? Yes, ma'am. Name first. Hi, Gianna. Remember when little Katie opened it up? Sir, you can't. Yeah, all right. Just want to make sure. Don't get me in trouble. As soon as they open it up, that's when it starts. Okay. As soon as they open up, that's when those 60 minutes begin. Doesn't matter. 60 minutes is open. Okay.
Can you close it after 60 minutes?
You know what? I've never tried it after 60 minutes. I just told you in the class, throughout the whole class, that the best practice is to what every time you're done with it. Yeah. And here's the kicker on that. You ready for the kicker? I can't guarantee you that that box won't walk up if that box is open. Why? Because I am not there to watch them and babysit them, because if they hit a key on the front of that face, they're going to lock up the box. Keep that in mind. Yes?
I have dealt with a Bluetooth lockbox before, and I have left it open, and if it dies, I can't shut it.
You just have to reopen it.
It doesn't turn on.
These boxes will. So,
Okay.
question?
I'm an appraiser. I have my own key, lockbox key. When I go out there, usually I open the box and I put the keys in my pocket, so I won't lock them inside the house. And I leave the lockbox open until I'm done. Is that going to be an issue? Sometimes it's 30 minutes, but it's a big house, it may be an hour.
Question was earlier, I'm going to go ahead and tell you, best practice is closing. You guys are going to get used to it. I can't babysit what you guys touched on the front of the box or not. Best practice is just close it. You guys saw how easy it is to open. So just close the box, because it also becomes a weapon. I've actually gouged my leg from talking with my clients, not looking. I ran into it, so it becomes a weapon. Yes?
How do you assign a box that's not going to be put in the MLS?
He wants to know how to assign a box when it's not in the MLS. What do we press on that screen? Can't find, go ahead, tell me. Can't find property. It will walk you through and ask you for the numeric portion of the address. It's called pending assignment.
Yeah, but what if you never going to assign it?
Then you're never going to assign it. You just do it that way. Good. Especially if it's I have it on a cabin. I don't assign it, but I can still do everything else to it. Yes. That it keeps checking the MLS. That it keeps checking the MLS. How many days do you guys have before you can put it into the MLS before you get fined? 3. 3 days. They were just in here yesterday, so I found out it was 3 days to get it into the MLS. You who said 5 were related to me. Any other questions? All right, John. Yes, question real quick.
I need to know if I have to download a new app or the one that I have in the phone is.
It's the same app, just make sure your updates are coming through. Quick.
Are you going to clear out all of the old listings that we have when it comes to signing it?
It should, and if your broker came to class, I kind of explained something that they can turn off a lot of that stuff.